Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown from the Caregiving Years Training Academy. I've been a working family caregiver since 2004. That's when my dad was diagnosed with bladder cancer. As a working family caregiver, I've worked for myself and I've worked for others. And sometimes, as I worked for myself, I also worked for others to keep the lights on in my small business. One of the jobs I had working for others was actually in a speakers bureau, where I would deliver lunch and learn programs for employers on behalf of the employer's employee assistance program or work-life benefit. So I delivered workshops for clients mostly in the Midwest, which was actually a really interesting gig. So I would go, for instance, into a manufacturing plant. So I went into a Frito-Lay manufacturing plant and watched them make products. And then I delivered workshops about stress management. I would deliver workshops in financial service organizations, startups, call centers. Gosh, it was always interesting to go in and see the different culture. But as I was doing that, I also was in a caregiving situation. So for instance, I presented at a soap factory in Iowa while my mom was hospitalized and I was worried what was going to happen. So I know what it's like to have to show up in the workplace when your heart is full of worry because of a family member. So I'm thrilled to be able to pull all that experience into a partnership with YourCare360. So it's a employee benefit for working family caregivers. YourCare360 has member benefits through associations and unions and employers. But the common theme is that it's serving that working family caregiver. So I believe that we have this really unusual insight into the different cultures that can happen within a workplace and the different demands on a working family caregiver depending on what their job is. So because I connected with those who work in manufacturing, I understand what it's like to work a shift and not have the flexibility to be available for a caree. But I also understand what it's like to be in a demanding startup environment where you might be working 14 hours a day because that's the demand of the startup. I also love that we've been able to bring in our certified caregiving consultants and our comfort care family coaches into this partnership. What's unusual about that is typically when you call, for instance, your employee assistance program, you're going to speak to whoever answers the phone. You might have some choice, for instance, if you are going to connect with a therapist, but you're going to have a choice around a consultant, a caregiving coach that you connect with through our partnership with YourCare360. And there's something about the choice of your coach that I think is very comforting. You can choose based on your situation, your caree's diagnosis, your relationship with your caree, or all three, and we'll do our best to match that working family caregiver with a consultant. The other piece about this is then you have this coach consultant along with you throughout your caregiving experience. Once you connect, you stay connected as long as you want to stay connected. So instead of calling an 800 number every time a situation arises and talking to someone new and sharing your story over and over, you reach out to your coach that you've already connected with, who knows your story, who understands the dynamics of your situation, who has insights into your particular stresses and worries. And then you just pick up where you left off and say, okay, here's what happened now. And then your coach consultant can really offer referrals that are appropriate, brainstorm ideas and suggestions, and provide that support that you want. Through our partnership with YourCare360, our consultants and our coaches are going to offer a free 50-minute assessment. They are really conversational assessments because you know what it's like to go through an assessment in the healthcare system. It is awful. That's why we use conversational assessments. We have these really interesting tools. They're very simple, but they spark a deep conversation that's meaningful and profound and insightful and supportive, because we want to have a conversation about caregiving. We can't get the true nuances of a caregiving situation by asking yes, no questions. We can only get all that complicated layers of a caregiving situation with a conversation. And that's what we're going to do. In addition, our conversational assessment starts with the working family caregiver telling us a 4-minute story of their choice. They get to choose a story they want to tell us that's maybe about a day or a situation or a current challenge. It's their choice. They tell us a 4-minute story, we engage in a conversation about that story, and then we move into our conversational assessment, which is really just 8 questions. And that 8-question assessment helps the family caregiver talk out their pressing worries, what they really feel challenged by. And then at the end of the assessment, it's the potential to create a plan or strategies or whatever the family caregiver needs. That's what makes it unusual to have this kind of partnership. We can really bring in elements to the benefit that are really about what the family caregiver needs as they're juggling career and caregiving responsibilities. So you can go to our website, careyearsacademy.com, to read more about our announcement. And if you're interested in joining us as a consultant or a coach, you'll find information about our training. We'd love to have you join us. We're creating partnerships that generate leads for your small business as a certified caregiving consultant or comfort care family coach. Again, the website is careyearsacademy.com, and you can schedule an appointment to talk with me. If you're interested in the training and you're thinking, how would this work? Or what's right for me? I talk to individuals all the time about the training programs because I really want it to be a good decision around investment and time. So I'm happy to have that conversation with you too. And I've included actually a link to my calendar in our show notes. Okay, thank you so much. I'll keep you posted on our partnership. Take care. Bye-bye.